Hi, modern fashion designers, a very big welcome to you. This is Modern Woman Apparel. If you're new to this channel, you're very much welcome. Please join this channel by clicking on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so as to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you. Today's class is the continuation of our previous video. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a basic bodice pattern. Remember, we did the drafting and we also eliminated this bust dart here in the part 1 of this video. So we got this after eliminating the bust dart. So this is the pattern we'll be working with for today. So if you are just joining us, click on the link in the description below to learn how we drafted this pattern and how we eliminated the bust dart to get this pattern here. So we also did the zipper tightening of 0.75 inch. So after doing your zipper tightening, what you do is to cut this place off. Remember, you have already added what you took out from the bodice. You have already added it to this part here. You have already added it here. So next is for you to just cut this out. This now becomes what you're going to work with. See how I cut it out? I've already added it to this place. So we are going to set these two aside and we are going to be working with these two. You can see that after eliminating the bust dart, these two, the back and the front, they are meeting each other by the sides. You can see that they are meeting each other by the side. No one is longer than the other. So I'll be making use of this doll face satin fabric. You can make use of any fabric of your choice. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to be making use of this doll face satin. You can turn your neckline with bias, but I'm going to be making use of this lining. So this video is beginners friendly because here I'm going to show you how to turn your main fabric with your lining. Also, I'm going to be showing you how to install your zipper. So you need a matching zipper. So for this pattern, the only thing I'm going to be altering here is the neck because I don't want it to have a high neck. So you can make use of this pattern just as it is if you're making use of if you're sewing a high neck or a turtleneck. But for this pattern, I'm not making a high neck, I'm not making a turtleneck, so I'm going to alter the neckline. So remember, this is the sewing allowance SA. This is the basic neckline here. And remember how we got this basic neckline. My basic neckline here is 3.2 inches. I divided my bust circumference by 12, and that is what gave me this 3.2 inches. So from this 3.2 inches line, I'm going to extend it to 4 inches. So the neck width will be 4 inches. I'll be making use of a neck width of 4 inches. And also from this 3.2 inches for the neck depth, I'm going to extend it to 5 inches. So the neck depth I'm making use of, the neckline I'm making use of is 4 by 5 inches. And I also remember, you can do a round neck, you can do a V-neck, any neckline of your choice is okay. So having done that, I'll just add my seam allowance, my half-inch seam allowance. So this is my half-inch seam allowance. So I'll no longer be making use of this, my basic neckline. I've altered it. So what I'm going to be making use of is this new neckline here. Also for the back, remember I did 4 for the front. The same 4 is what I'm going to do for the back. Then I'm still going to leave this 1 inch that I came down by for the back. I'm not going to alter the back depth. So I'll just connect it to this 1 inch here. And next is for me to get my seam allowance. So having altered the neckline, I'll just cut it out. So be making use of this pattern. Now remember, the 1 inch for the back is not constant. You can come down by any inches of your choice. So if you want the back to be deep, it all depends on what you want. To cut, you place your fabric on fold like so. Remember, the front you're cutting it on fold. Now you place your pattern on top of your fabric like so. Remember to always secure with your pins. Work with your pins is very important. So next is to add the side seam allowance. Remember we have added allowance to the neckline, to the shoulder, and to the armhole. So like I said before, if you're going to be joining this upper part to either a skirt to make it a gown, or you want to join it with a peplum or anything to make it a blouse, remember to add your seam allowance on this down parts to it. So but for this, I'm just going to leave it like this because I'm making this just for the sake of this tutorial. I'm not joining it with anything, so there's no need for me to add allowance to this place. So I added 1.5 inches to the side seam allowance. So what I will do next is to cut this front pattern. So after cutting it out, before you remove these pins, before you remove the pattern from the fabric, you notch your dart line. So having notched my dart intake, what I'll do is to remove the pins. So next is to cut the back pattern. This back pattern, you're going to cut it in 2 pieces. You're going to get 2 of these, one for the left side and one for the right side. You're not cutting this on fold. After cutting the back, don't forget to put your notches on the dart line. After that, we use this front and back fabric to cut out the lining. So this is all for the cutting. These are the 2 back parts. Remember to put the same notches on your main fabric on your lining. Do not forget to sew. First thing first is for you to sew your dart lines. You're going to be sewing the dart on the main fabric separately and that of the lining separately. Come to one side of your main fabric and join these 2 dart notches together like so. Like so. Now, to determine the length of your dart line, that is where your pattern comes in. That is why pattern is very important. So for the front, now measure what you have here. See, from here to this place is 6 inches. Now if you are making a basic bodice, you will come down from if you're sewing your dart, you will come down from your bust point by 1 inch. Don't sew it up to the bust point to avoid that pointiness it gives. So coming down by 1 inch here. This is 6. I came down by 1 inch. So the dart leg will be 5 inches. So come to this place and measure 5 inches. That means I'll be stopping my dart here. Next is for you to get your ruler and rule your dart line from here to here. So this will be your dart intake. This is where you're going to sew. Don't forget to always secure with pins to help you a lot. So I'll take this to my sewing machine, sew it, and come back and show you. I also did the same thing on the other side of the dart. So this is it. Next is to cut this out. If you're a beginner, I will advise you leave it like so. Practice over time before you can begin to cut yours out. So I'll cut it out like so. can leave. I'll also do same to the front lining. After sewing the front dart, come to the back. Remember, for the front we came down from the bust point by 1 inch, but for the back you're not coming down by anything, so measure the length of your dart. This is 6.5 inches. So from here, remember, you're taking the dart from the wrong side of the fabric. Match these two notches together, secure with a pin. Secure with a pin. We got 6.5 inches. So from here, take 6.5, go up by 6.5, and this is where your dart intake will be stopping. Your dart length will stop. Now connect from there to this notch here. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and sew it up and show you. This is what I'm going to do to this side, to the other side, and also to the back lining. After sewing the dart, take your main fabric and the lining. So this is the main fabric for the front, this is the lining for the front. So I'm going to go to my sewing machine and sew this up the side here by 1/2 inch, or you can do 0.25, depends on you. Here I'm taking this by 1/2 inch, then I'm leaving the armhole and the shoulder, and I'm also going to join the neckline by 1/2 inch. And also to this side, I'm going to sew it up by 1/2 inch. So the sides, I'm sewing the sides and the neckline. I'll come back and show you. After sewing the sides and the neckline, what you do before you turn is to notch this neckline. Put notches close to the seam, but not too close to cut the seam. Then you turn. So after that, take the back side, the main fabric and the lining. So the right side facing right side. Sew the sides, the neckline, and also this other side. I'll come back and show you. I'll do that for the two parts. After joining the fabric to the lining, you notch the neckline like we did for the front. If you like, you can trim it out, make it low after notching, like so. If you want, you can also leave it like that. You can also do this to the front side before turning. Give you a notch. So give you a notch. Then you turn. So remember, for my zipper allowance, I did 1.25. I've already taken 0.25 here to sew the lining to the main fabric. So my zipper allowance is now left with 1 inch. Next, take it to your ironing table and press. So I'm going to take this to my ironing table and press it. If you are joining it with a skirt to get a gown, or you are using it to make a peplum blouse, you leave this place as it is. What you do is just to top stitch here to hold these two together. But for me, I said I'm not going to join it with anything. I'm making this for tutorial purpose, so I'm going to join this down part together. I'm going to close it up before taking it to my ironing table. After ironing, this is what I have after ironing. So next is to take these two to join the zipper at the back. Remember, if you are joining this with a peplum or if you are joining it with a skirt, first of all, join the skirt part to this upper part before joining your zipper. So to join the zipper, to install the zipper, I'm going to come here. Remember I said I took 1.25 for the back for the zipper allowance. Now I've already joined the fabric and the lining with 0.25, so I'm left with 1 inch for my zipper allowance. So I'm going to come here, take 1 inch, 1 inch, and rule a straight line. I'm still going to do same for the other side. Now we are going to go over to the sewing machine. I'll show you how to install your zipper. So to install, this is the right side of your fabric and this is the right side of your zipper. So place the right side of the fabric and the right side of the zipper facing each other like so. Now take the zipper, match it up to this line, to the line you have ruled. You're going to sew this part, the outer side of the zipper to the outer side of your fabric, not the inner side. You're sewing this outer side. So if you're a beginner, you can decide to secure this with a pin. Secure it with a pin and sew. So watch me as I sew. So this line here, this line is going to match up to this line. So raise it up, make sure it's matching. Then you begin. Sew and back stitch. As you sew, check if it's still on that line. That is why I say if you're a beginner, pin, 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 pin. Check and sew. Take it gently. It's not something you rush. Gently. Make sure you don't drag the zipper as you sew. Now, back stitch. So after sewing, this is what we have. This is how yours should look like. You can see it's very close to the zipper. This is how yours should look like. Also do same to the other side. Now pick the other side of your fabric, of your outfit. For this one, we started from the upper side, from the neckline. So to sew this, we are going to start from the down part. We are not starting from the neckline, we are starting from the down part. And we are going to match it up like so. Match the lines, make sure it's facing the line like so. Remember the first one I started from the neckline. These I'm starting from the down part. You can also start from the down part for the first one. The second one you start from the neckline. Remember you're sewing the zipper on the right side of the fabric, not on the wrong side, please. You sew that stitch. If you have this adjustable zipper foot, to be much more easier for you, but I'm using this regular footer for the sake of those that do not have this adjustable zipper foot. So you sew and check. Make sure you're not sewing on the other part of your fabric. Sew and check. Make sure these two are matching. So after sewing, this is what you have. Make sure the upper side and the down side are matching each other. Make sure the both sides are meeting like so. Now next is for you to fold this in and show you. So fold in like so, turn it like this. Make sure this one is inside. Then you top stitch here just a little. Okay, also do the same to the other side. After installing the zipper, next is to piece the shoulder. So to do that, bring the right side of the back and the right side of the lining facing each other like so. Like so. This center, make sure the center, and open up this seam allowance here. So place these two together and pin at the center here. Make sure the two seams are meeting each other. Now having done that, we're going to sew like this. Sew straight. I'll do that and show you. So after joining it like so, by 1/2 inch seam allowance, you turn. This is the front, this is the wrong side, and this is the right side. So we'll do same thing to the other side. After joining, this is what you will have. This is what you have. You can see the inside. Remember to cut this off. This is what you will have. Next is to top stitch this line here, the armhole line. After top stitching, next is to shaping the sides. Place it right side facing right side like so. Right side facing right side. If you want, you can pin. with pins. With pins. Next is to shaping the side, and to shaping the side, place the right side facing right side together. Measure what you have. Remember, I'm working with a chest line of 38, so 38, this is 22. I got 22 here. So I'm working with a chest line of 38. 38 divided by 2 will be 19, and 22 minus 19 will give me 3 inches. 3 inches. So 3 inches, I'm going to divide it into equal halves, 2 equal halves. That will be 1.5. So this is the 1.5 here. And remember, we added ½ inch to it for ease. So I'm going to mark it here. The same thing I'm going to do to this other side. This is 1.5. And this is ½ inch for ease. Now you also come to the waistline. You come to the waistline and measure from here. Measure from here to the waistline. I have 19.5. So the waist measurement I'm working with is 34. 34 divided by 2 will give us 17. So 19.5 minus 17, and that will give me 2.5. So this 2.5, we're going to share it to 2 equal parts. That will be 1.25 on the both side, on each side. 1.25, 1.25. So I'm going to connect it to this line. Also connect this to this line like so. Now I'll join them together properly like so. Go to my sewing machine, stitch it, run a stitch across, and come back and show you. So this is it. Run a stitch here, run a stitch here, turn, turn, turn. So this is our basic bodice. Remember, I said I'm going to be attaching a sleeve to the armhole. So for the sleeve, I'm going to be making use of this basic sleeve pattern I have here. If you want to see how I made this, the link is on the description below. You can check it out. So this is it. Pardon me, I ran out of the pink fabric, so I want to make use of this black doll face material for it. You know, this is just for tutorial purpose, right? So to sew this, I opened this place up here by like 1 inch. Also the same to the other side. I've notched the middle of my sleeve. This middle of my sleeve now is what I'm going to be placing on this same line here. Here, like so. And I'm going to take it down to this part and sew. I'll come back and show you. After joining, you will have something like this. This is how you join. So next is to hem this place. Remember, you can turn this with your lining. You can turn this sleeve with your lining, or you just hem. So I'm going to hem this by folding it like this and like this. Then I'll sew. After that, I'll just close it up like so. Close it up. Then for this place and this place, I'll finish it up with my weaving machine. So guys, this is the final look of our basic bodice top. So don't forget to iron at every step of the way. Remember, neat finishing is very important. Whatever you're sewing, make sure you give it a neat finishing. Neat finishing is very important. So if this video has been so helpful to you, don't forget to like, comment, share this video. And also, if you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe to this channel. Turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye.